Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the West Milton Council meeting for October 2021. I'd like to offer, or is there any motion to adjourn from executive session?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to adjourn from executive session.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Oh, sorry.
No?
Got Anthony Miller,
Yes.
Scott Hurst,
Yes.
Casey Metz,
Yes.
Sarah Kopp,
Yes.
Tim Dews,
Yes.
Greg Tracy, Clerk Chris Horn.
Yes.
Thank you. And please bear with us this evening. Manager Sheridan is pulling double duties as recording the minutes and then also participating in the minutes, or in the meeting. So, if I can, because we have not yet, I'd like to ask everybody to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll have an invocation. Thank you. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I ask you all, please, remain standing? For the prayer, please. Thank you. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Father, we thank you for this evening, and thank you for the privilege it is for us to live in a municipality of West Milton. Lord, we just really love this town, and Lord, wanted to just do good and grow. So Lord, we ask for wisdom for these people that are sitting behind this desk, this up here tonight. Lord, just give them wisdom and knowledge, and the people that are sitting in the audience as well. Give us all wisdom and knowledge, Lord, that West Milton will be even a better place to live. We just thank you and praise you, Lord, and just want to everything that is said and done here tonight will be for your honor and your glory. For it's through Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, sir. Council should have received minutes for the September 14th council meeting. We have not finalized the meeting minutes for the workshop yet. So, are there any motions for the approval of minutes for the September 14th meeting?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the meeting minutes for September 14th, 2021.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Miller,
Yes.
Scott Hurst,
Yes.
Casey Metz,
Yes.
Sarah Kopp,
Yes.
Tim Dews,
Yes.
Chris Horn.
Yes.
And I believe that we need to make a motion to excuse Councilman Dews from that meeting as well.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we excuse Councilmember Dews from the September 14th, 2021 meeting.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Miller,
Yes.
Hurst,
Yes.
Metz,
Yes.
Kopp,
Yes.
Dews,
Yes.
Horn.
Yes.
Manager Sheridan, is there any correspondence to council tonight?
There's not, Mayor.
Thank you. Tonight, I'd like to open the floor up to citizens regarding any comments for tonight's legislation. All right, seeing none. Moving on, CM-21-35, and I'll turn that over to Ms. Brosh.
Is this the second reading for this?
Yes.
Okay. An ordinance amending section 52.154K, water backflow prevention procedure and cross-connection control of the West Milton Code of Ordinances.
Thank you. Manager Sheridan, do you want to just kind of quickly
Yeah,
review what that was?
This is an ordinance that authorizes our staff, who's gone through the training, to do the backflows. So we now offer that service to our citizens, for everyone in West Milton that requires to have a backflow preventer checked.
Thank you. Any discussion with council tonight regarding the ordinance? Any motions?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt CM-21-35.
Second.
Roll call?
Miller,
Yes.
Hurst,
Yes.
Metz,
Yes.
Cop,
Yes.
Dews,
Yes.
Horn.
Yes.
Next is CM 21-38, a resolution authorizing the manager to renew insurance. Ms. Brush.
It's a resolution authorizing the municipal manager to renew insurance with the Ohio Joint Self-Insurance Pool. Whereas the municipality of West Milton, Ohio has been a member of the Ohio Municipal Joint Insurance Pool since 1989, and whereas the insurance was due for renewal effective April 1st, 2021, however, the municipality just received the revised rates last month after a reevaluation of all covered items. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the village of West Milton, Ohio, that section 1, the council hereby authorizes the municipal manager to execute the proper contractual documents to renew said insurance with the Ohio Municipal Joint Self-Insurance Pool for a policy of 1 year from April 1st, 2021 to April 1st, 2022 for all coverages at a rate of $67,440 plus or minus exposure changes. Section 2, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force from and after its passage.
Thank you, Ms. Brush. Manager Sheridan.
Yeah, this is fairly self-explanatory. This is our property and casualty insurance. There was a significant increase due to the evaluation, the updated evaluation that Mr. Herron completed earlier this spring. That's the reason for the rate increase.
Any discussion for council regarding the?
And just to be clear, that's a good thing, because what they had covered before was not what we had. So there would have been an issue if we'd had to file a claim. I just want to make sure that's clear, that Mr. Herron did a very good thing to get us updated.
Great. Thank you, Ben. Any motion for the resolution?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to accept resolution CM 21-38 as written.
Second?
Roll call?
Miller,
Yes?
Hurst,
Yes.
Metz,
Yes.
Cop,
Yes.
Dews,
Yes.
Horn.
Yes.
Next is CM 21-39, a resolution authorizing the manager to enter into a contract. Ms. Brush.
It's a resolution authorizing the municipal manager to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering to provide construction plans for a secondary water main across Stillwater River. Whereas it has been determined that the water main located on the bridge on State Route 571 is in poor condition and there is a need to add a secondary water main across the Stillwater River in order to relieve pressure on the existing water main. And whereas in addition to relieving pressure on the existing water main, the secondary water main will then be the primary water main for the Stillwater Crossings development. And whereas the Council for the Municipality of West Milton, Ohio has determined that it is in the best interest of the municipality to research the ability and cost for constructing a secondary water main across the Stillwater River. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of West Milton, Ohio, that Section 1, the West Milton Municipal Manager, D. Jeffrey Sheridan, is hereby authorized to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering to provide construction plans for a secondary water main across the Stillwater River for development on the municipality's west side in the amount of $63,100. Said contract is attached hereto as Exhibit A and incorporated herein as if fully rewritten. Section 2, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force upon final passage or as soon as authorized by the State of Ohio Revised Code. Section 3, it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council relating to the adoption of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council that resulted in such formal actions were in a meeting open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code.
Thank you, Ms. Brush. Manager Sheridan.
Yeah, this is a project that we've applied for a grant of around $400,000. The total project cost is approximately $800,000. As was explained in the resolution, initially it will be a secondary crossing for water, to provide water, but it's very likely that the water supply on the bridge will fail in the very near future. So it's very important to get this secondary crossing in place, because ultimately it will be the primary crossing probably for the foreseeable future. So we're hoping to get a grant to pay half the cost. We have to do the engineering beforehand, and that's the contract for the engineering. So even if we don't get the grant, this is a project we're going to do at some point. It's just a question of when and how it gets paid for.
Okay. When you say fail and when you say soon, can you maybe expand on that a little bit? Or
My crystal ball's no better than anybody else's, but the line's 30 years old. It was more than 30 years old. It was on the bridge and not utilized for that entire time. And that's harder on a water line than if you'd used it.
Okay.
And so staff suggests to me that it's important we get that second line put in as soon as possible, and I agree with them.
Okay. Can you, and maybe this is part of what will be determined in the engineering, is that looking at where it crosses the river and, or can you kind of explain that a
Sure,
little bit?
we think we know where it's gonna cross, but yes, the engineering will determine that at the final. It'll be boring under the river. We've got a preliminary alignment of where we go under and where it'd come back up and so forth. But the engineering will obviously confirm that information.
Yeah. And would that be cheaper than, say, connecting to Iddings Road and just running it up Iddings Road?
I don't think the Iddings Road, the line that on Rid is not big enough. So the line we're talking under is the 12-inch.
No, I'm talking for the line that is coming from Troy.
Oh.
And I don't know if that would be an engineering question that they would look at.
Go ahead, Nick or Ben.
They would have to, so basically that water's going to our pump station, which then gets rechlorinated and fluoride, so
Okay.
if we tied into that, we'd have to build a secondary, station or, pump station and a treatment station, so
Okay.
the cost would be a lot higher to do
Okay.
that.
So the purpose behind not running it up Iddings Road would be we know that it's being treated, is that correct?
Mhm.
Okay. Awesome.
Any other questions?
I do. What about, so the one we have now is running under the bridge, correct?
Correct.
Is it cheaper to go under the water like that, or,
It's
I mean,
not
why
cheaper,
was it done
it's-
like that in the first place?
I can't speak for the decisions that were made 30-plus years ago, but I can tell you it was an option then, it's not an option now.
Oh, it's
ODOT will
not
no
an option.
longer let you put a water line or a sewer line on a bridge.
Okay, I see. Well, then,
That's an important point, thank
Yeah.
you.
Didn't we just reline and
Yeah.
insulate?
You did.
do
Yeah.
all
You
of that
did.
work?
Yep, and I can go into more detail if you like. I think that was the decision that was made by the manager at the time. I don't think I agree with it, but I can't change it. A lot of money was spent on a line that was already at the end of its life expectancy.
Did we have anybody evaluate that line, to your knowledge, before we decided to spend all that money?
Not to my knowledge.
So even the company that.
Other than
really-
staff in-house,
Right.
to be clear, other than staff in-house.
So the company that sold us on the investment of relining that line didn't mention anything about it being in poor condition?
I can't answer that one, I'm sorry. I could look more into it if the council would like.
As you know, we were looking at a difference between what was reported to us as $1 million to take it under the river then compared to $150,000 to reline it, I believe is about what it was. Plus then we paid to insulate it after that. So I think that was part of the, this gets it done faster and cheaper right now to get water up the hill.
I think that's all true.
So I think that was part of it, but on the cost of this, 63,000, is that this year's budget expense, is that next year?
We'd have to work that into the budget. I would expect that some of it might come out of this year, if need be, all of it could come out of next year.
So it'll be a budgeted expense for
Yes,
next
sir.
year?
Yes, sir.
One last question, and this
Sure.
might be for Ben. How would, if we put another line underneath, this would basically close a loop, is that correct?
Correct.
Can you, and I've heard this term before, but can you kind of tell me why that's important?
Yeah, so in the ordinance, or the resolution, it actually said we're gonna relieve the pressure on the main.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean it has to be, shut down.
Right.
It just means that that's
valved off to where if we did have a problem, it would close the loop that you're talking about. But in this case, we'd be coming basically from the pump station, a direct line underneath and then up into the back end of the Stillwater crossing. So it's gonna be fed basically from two directions. So it increases your water pressure, it keeps your water a lot cleaner. You know, so, if you get a fire, you're
Fire
not drawing
protection.
off of,
Yeah.
you know, one line. So it's important to loop them, and I mean, it'll be really important in the future, should, you know, long after I'm here, but if they decide to go, you know, one way or another down Eddings, now you're talking about treated water, it's already on a booster, so it opens up a lot more possibilities versus just one line trying to feed, you know, one subdivision.
Sure. Would this potentially eliminate the need for a water tower up there, if we would ever need one? Or
Not necessarily.
You know, that's a
Okay,
tough one.
totally different.
Yeah.
That's gonna be more dependent upon how much and how fast development occurs on the east side of the river.
Okay.
So is this gonna require an additional pump station?
The pump station that's there it's ready to go for the most part, so yeah, I mean, in this first phase, we've got good, flows up there, and Nick, what was our last, flow up there? Did you, what was our last flow?
Pressure
Feed
test.
pressure, do you remember?
Right now, we're feeding about 50 at the lowest, at the highest point, and 60 out towards the river.
Which, for West Milton,
That's pretty good.
pretty good. So, yeah, the booster station would be able to, it was built to cover now and the future. The storage tank, like the manager said, is almost a different animal because now you're talking about, you know, fire flows up in the air and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So I have an additional question.
Yes.
How did we come to the conclusion lately that it was going to fail? Cause it just seems kind of sudden, and I don't know, I was taken by surprise, I guess.
Yeah.
As I was trying to, and please jump in, Ben, as I was getting more familiar with your system, I spent a lot of time with staff and asked a lot of questions. And of course, as we're moving forward with development on the south side, supplying water is pretty important. And so once I found out how old the line was, the condition that it sat there for 30 years, not been utilized, and that is, it's the difference between a car that sits for 30 years or a car that you run for 30 years. Setting there is much harder than actually using it. And so while there was money put into it, and that was necessary, that's not going to continue its life. Its life expectancy is not that much greater. It's going to supply you for a while. Might even be 5 years. But you're going to need a second line. And that line, at this point, the best way to do it's under the river.
All right.
If or when this line would fail underneath the bridge, at that time, are we gonna have to put another line to replace that underneath?
If you've got the line under the river, you won't immediately have to do that. The second line will be dependent upon how much growth occurs and how fast it occurs on the east side of the river.
Okay.
You're also getting a new line down Miami Street, and that's the next item. That goes from a 4-inch or 6-inch.
Well, it's 6-inch.
6-inch to a 12-inch, and that's going to make a huge difference in moving the water into the pump station and across. It'll also make a huge difference in the fire protection in the downtown area. So it's a win-win. You will need a second line at some point, but not for the foreseeable future.
Okay.
And if you do, the growth that's occurring should pay for it.
Any other questions? Are there any motions for the resolution?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we accept resolution CM-21-39 as written.
Second.
Roll call?
Miller,
Yes.
Hurst,
Yes.
Metz,
Yes.
Kopp,
Yes.
Dews,
Yes.
Horn.
Yes.
All right. Next is CM-21-40, a resolution authorizing the manager to enter into a contract. Ms. Brush.
It's a resolution authorizing the municipal manager to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering to provide construction plans for a new 12-inch water main on Miami Street. Whereas a water model study was performed by FTC&H Engineers of Cincinnati, Ohio, and received by the municipality on June 3rd, 2018. And whereas pursuant to the water model study, it was recommended that a new 12-inch water main be installed on Miami Street to reduce pressurization downtown when the pump station is at full demand. And whereas the Council for the Municipality of West Milton, Ohio, has determined that it is in the best interest of the municipality to research the ability and cost for installing a new 12-inch water main on Miami Street. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Municipality of West Milton, Ohio, that Section 1, the West Milton Municipal Manager D. Jeffrey Sheridan is hereby authorized to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering to provide construction plans for a new 12-inch water main on Miami Street to feed the new water booster stations in the municipality in the amount of $68,500. Said contract is attached here too as Exhibit A and incorporated herein as if fully rewritten. Section 2, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force upon passage or as soon as authorized by the State of Ohio Revised Code. Section 3, it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council relating to the adoption of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council that resulted in such formal actions were in a meeting open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code.
Thank you, Ms. Brasher. Manager Sheridan.
Yeah, this is the 12-inch line down Miami Street. We've already received a grant and a 0% loan. We do have to put in approximately 25% match, but between the 0% loan and the grant money, this is a project you have to do. It's just a question of when, and I think this is the most cost-effective way to get the line put in. It will be challenging for residents and businesses on Miami Street. One of the issues is going to be the trench that the 4-inch line is in. Is it big enough to hold a 12-inch line, or is it going to have to be enlarged? And that's going to make a significant difference in how long it takes to do the project, or how long the road is tore up. So this is the engineering, and we would hope to start construction sometime next year.
Where does this run from and to on 40 Ridge?
Can you help me on that, Ben?
Yeah, so the engineering will tell us exactly where to tie it in on the north end, somewhere right at the north tower, north pump station. And then it would run directly south to the downtown. The downtown already has a 12-inch line. When the downtown was rebuilt, I don't even know, 15, 16 years ago, we spec'd a 12-inch line. So that'll do a lot of things, but I mean, the best way to explain it is like from Hayes Street to Front Street, let's just say that, just like take a square out of there. Those are all smaller, pressure lines, and whenever there's demand, outward, those are all, sucking those smaller lines, not sucking them dry, but it's putting a lot of pressure on them. So when you try to flow downtown that 11-inch line, you got a 6-inch trying to dump into a 12-inch line, and that's not, that's just not helpful. So this is something that had been in the works for a while. The other big thing that this does is that with the way that the lines are from the north to the south, West Milton's demanding a lot more from our south tower than our north. So this is a way to equalize and distribute the water from the north and the south tower almost, more equally, according to the water modeling study that they showed. So it's something we've talked about since the downtown was built. But then when we started, flowing more water, we started operating valves. We found some valves that were bad, got all that taken care of. We realized that it's just, if we had a fire somewhere close to downtown right now, there's a good chance we could shut off spigots, especially on second floors downtown. So it's a necessity. It's going to help our system out tremendously. Just about everybody in town may benefit a little bit by this from less tower usage on one versus the other. So it's community beneficial, even though people within that 3-4 block radius will probably notice the biggest difference. So.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Do you happen to have the figures or know roughly what the grant and the match was?
I've got all the grants except that one in front of me. I want to say that the grant was approximately 250,000. The 0% loan was closer to 400,000, and the match was about 200,000. I can give you the exact numbers. I'll be glad to email you tomorrow morning, so you know exactly.
Okay, that's fine.
I think the important part to remember is this is a project you were going to have to do regardless,
Mhm.
and the 0% loan and the grant are gonna help.
Do you remember what the total was off the top of
I
your
wanna
head?
say about an $800,000 project.
And then you said it's up to us when we would start this, and
We have some discretion. We do have a deadline under which we have to have it done, but I would expect that unless there's an issue, we'd start sometime next year.
And then, I know that the state just repaved 48 not
Right.
too long ago.
Right.
Are we in charge of paving that again?
That would be part of the budget for the project.
Okay, all right. So, would the entire street be paved? Or just the
Everywhere,
trench?
everywhere the construction took place, I would expect the street to be repaved.
Okay.
But that's something when the engineers put the project together and do the design,
Mhm.
will be discussed.
Any other questions?
can Choice One give us a 2-for-1 deal?
You know, I actually asked, buy one, get one free, and they declined. And they've got 2 more coming up.
Any motions?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to accept resolution CM-21-40 as written.
Second.
Roll call?
Miller,
Yes.
Hurst,
Yes.
Metz,
Yes.
Cop,
Yes.
Dews,
Yes.
Horn.
Yes.
Last one.
All right. CM-21-41, a resolution authorizing applications. Ms. Brush.
It's a resolution authorizing the submittal of applications for federal FAST Act funds through the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission. Whereas the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission has solicited local government entities to submit new transportation projects for funding consideration in the Transportation Improvement Program. And whereas the municipality of West Milton has committed to a timely project development schedule. And whereas the municipality of West Milton will commit the necessary resources to support the estimated local cost portion of the projects, and the following list of projects will be submitted to MVRPC, shown in the order of the municipality of West Milton's priority from number 1 to 2. 1, State Route 48 and Frederick Garland intersection improvements, estimated local match, $535,076. 2, Hayes Street and Tip Pike traffic signal, estimated local match, $358,988.40. Whereas municipality of West Milton requests the following exemptions from MVRPC's Complete Streets policy for the proposed project funding applications. 1, State Route 48 and Frederick Garland intersection improvements, exemptions 3 and 7, where the cost of establishing bikeways or walkways would be excessively disproportionate to the need or probable use, where scarcity of population or other factors indicate an absence of need for current and future conditions. Cyclist and pedestrian exemption. Now therefore be it resolved by the municipality of West Milton that Section 1, this resolution shall serve to authorize the transmittal and submittal of applications for the following transportation projects to MVRPC for funding consideration in the Transportation Improvement Program. 1, State Route 48 and Frederick Garland intersection improvements. 2, Hayes Street and Tip Pike traffic signal. Section 2, the municipal manager is hereby authorized to sign on behalf of the municipality the application for funds as referred to in Section 1 of this resolution. Section 3, the municipal manager is hereby directed and authorized to take or cause to be taken all other action necessary and proper to secure the funding sought by the application referred to herein, and provide any additional information sought by reviewing agencies during the time the application is under review. The municipal manager is further directed and authorized to cause compliance with all reporting requirements required by the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission as required as part of the funding process. Section 4, upon application approval, the municipality hereby states its commitment to the local contribution for the project as identified in these applications, including local contribution of costs exceeding the current estimates or subsequent revised estimates as accepted by the MVRPC. Section 5, it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the adoption of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that any and all deliberations of this council and any of its committees that resulted in such formal action were in meetings open to the public, in compliance with all legal requirements, including but not limited to Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 6, this resolution shall become effective immediately upon its passage.
Thank you, Manager Sheridan.
As you may recall, I explained the MPO, Metropolitan Planning Organization, issued a call for projects. They have approximately $25 million in funds available. And perhaps the most important piece is these are projects that would be at least 4 years in the future. This would be getting in line for the funding. So based on that call for projects, I sit down with the engineers and we identified 9 potential transportation projects that would be eligible and the criteria for this specific call for projects. I took those 9 projects and had them reviewed by Mr. Herron and the then interim chief of police in terms of priority. And they actually both identified the same 2 projects as the highest priority from a safety standpoint and to a benefit to the community standpoint. So this would be putting a left turn lane there at Frederick Garland and 48. There have been a number of rear end accidents, and this would be redoing the intersection at 571 around McDonald's, bringing the signals much more current, moving traffic quicker and safer. They're significantly expensive projects, but again, they're 4 years in the future. They're projects that will benefit the community, and the grants will pay for a significant percentage of them. Any questions?
The amounts listed, or those are what we are going to be,
Those would be the matches.
those would be our matches.
That's correct.
Okay.
I think one project's about 900,000 total, and the second project is 1.5 million.
No, that would be the stoplight.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's no guarantee we'll get funded, but I would like to get in the habit of the municipality competing for the funds, the transportation funds that are eligible to us.
Any questions?
So J Street Market wasn't on there, Ben?
I think it was on the list.
No, he's talking about a different.
Oh, I know what you're saying. No, it was not on the list.
I mean, did we have 7? It was number 8.
So close, so close.
One of the, yeah. No, I'm sorry. Never hurts to try.
That's right, that's right. Are there any motions for the resolution?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to accept CM-21-41.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Miller,
Yes.
Hurst,
Yes.
Metz,
Yes.
Kopp,
Yes.
Dews,
Yes.
Horn.
Yes.
All right.
Moving along to the manager's report.
All right, a couple of items that were discussed at the previous meeting, and that's the no parking on the east side of J Street and the Community Pride Awards. I'd like to move those to the workshop at the end of the month and talk about those some more, if that's all right. I wanted to go over the council asked for more information on the Trex of the liquor license. So I have some additional information for you. We actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 different categories of liquor license that are eligible for West Milton. So, and I can tell you somewhere I've got what these are. C1, we have a quota of 5 and we've issued 5. C2 licenses, we have a quota of 5 and we've issued 4. D1, a quota of 3 and we've issued 3. D2, 3 and we've issued 2. D3, 3 and we've issued 2. D4, 3, and we've issued 0, and D5, 3, and we've issued 1. I was contacted by a local business that they're going to be submitting an application very soon for one of those licenses. If it would help, the C1 is beer only in original sealed container for carryout only. C2 is wine and mixed beverages in sealed containers for carryout. D1 is beer only on premises consumption or in original sealed containers for carryout only until 1 a.m. D2, wine and mixed beverages on premises consumption or in original sealed containers for carryout until 1 a.m. D3 is spirituous liquor for on-premises consumption only until 1 a.m. D5 is spirituous liquor on premises consumption only, beer and wine and mixed beverages for on-premise or off-premise in original sealed containers until 2:30 a.m. So we do have some available, and the licenses that they were asking to Trex would be either a D1, a D2, or a D3.
And
So-
there's only one of those?
There is only one of each of those. I think, as I understand the process, we can ask for a hearing, and then we can make the community's wishes known, but the final decision will be up to the Liquor Control Board.
Okay.
Any other questions?
So the next step in the process, either way, so if we wish to go ahead and accept it, it's a voice vote to say, yes, you can have that?
We're waiving the hearing.
That you're
We're-
waiving the
We're
hearing.
waiving the hearing.
Or we can say, no, we would like a hearing, and
And-
that's our only appeal process.
Yeah,
Is
and
that
I'm
correct?
not sure that it may be too late, that the initial notice was in August.
Okay.
As you know, we've tabled this one meeting and we've worked on it, so no one could answer that question for me when I tried to get an answer out of them this afternoon. Sorry.
Who has the final say, the liquor?
I believe the Liquor Control Board does.
Okay.
And she's shaking her head, yes, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I think we can have a hearing, we can make our wishes known,
Okay.
and that's really our only role in the process.
Okay.
What's involved in the hearing?
Lene, can you answer that?
Never actually had a hearing with the liquor control, usually they just go through, but, I would assume it's just where you show up and you voice your opinion.
Mhm.
I wouldn't expect it to be anything extremely formal.
So when you say you mean you?
Probably me, yes.
That's what I was getting at, who doesn't?
If it matters, the two options for where the hearing is held is in the county seat or in Columbus. It would not be a hearing here in West Milton.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, so if we wanted to say we want a hearing, is that a voice vote? Would we have to make a voice vote, or do we just say, take it to a hearing?
I would think a voice vote, but I'll
A
defer
voice
to
vote
Lene.
would be fine, because
Yeah.
you would take a voice vote to say you don't want a hearing, so, yeah,
Yeah.
it's just the opposite.
I am against Trexing it and giving it away to another community. I think that
I'm also against it.
it would behoove us to hold on to the liquor license, especially because we have growth coming our way and we want to hold on to this. So,
I think we got a good case at a hearing.
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
we'll see. I know who's going to represent us, so I have full faith in it.
There you go.
So, is there a motion to, let's see, how would I'm trying to think of how to proceed to a hearing with the liquor control board.
Just do all in favor, aye.
Yeah.
Is all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Any opposed?
Then the only question is, I assume you want to hold it in our county seat as opposed to going to Columbus?
Yes.
I will forward that information tomorrow.
Thank you.
And I can tell you that the liquor control is backlogged. Even people applying and transferring liquor licenses is taking a year or more at this point. So we might have a chance to actually get a
Great.
hearing, even if it's late.
Okay. Very good.
The last item on the manager's report, just give you a brief update on our code enforcement efforts. To date, we've we have 82 cases, and of those 82, we've had 63 be resolved, or approximately 77%. So now we're getting down to the core, the hard ones that probably are not going to be as easy to get resolved.
Any that we have had to further on past, just you going out and talking, or a letter or anything? Has there been any legal
No.
action taken yet?
No, no,
Okay.
no, no. But we're getting closer to that.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Very good.
Mr. Manager, could you email, at least me, the information on the liquor licenses, like the different types, and then how many
Sure,
we had of each
sure.
one?
I'll send it to everyone.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I couldn't make this.
Moving on to old business with council. Any old business? Nobody?
No, I
Okay.
have new business.
Okay.
Not old.
We'll go to new business with Sarah first.
Okay.
Okay.
Mine are just updates, things that are coming up to mark your calendars for. So the next third Thursday is coming up, October 21st. And they've just been really great events, and I'm hearing nothing but good things. I think people are just really enjoying having some food, you know, and just community.
Yeah.
Like, that's it, community. It's been very cool. And just wanted to read you a quick list of who's gonna be at the food truck rally. So it'll be not this Thursday, but next Thursday, from 4 to 8. El Diablo Grill, the Rotary, Claiborne Grill will be there again, Poppy's Smokehouse, Dennis Delk Brick Oven Pizza, and of course Buckeye Burger. They've been selling out, so. And then we'll have a band by Nick Youngerman, so, and he'll be starting around 6:15-ish, the band, so.
Excellent.
Yeah, so that's been great, and we've been having, also I wanna thank, we've been having sponsors sponsor the bands. So the bands are, you know, they're not cheap, so we've had businesses stepping up and giving Project Revival, money in order to sponsor the band. So if there's any businesses here in town, or any businesses, the next one sponsoring is Beckstrom Orthodontics. They have, my kids go there, they all have braces. So, yeah, he's sponsoring this one. So if you have any businesses that would like to do that, send them my way, and we will happily take their money. And then, the next thing is, we are having the downtown, holiday open houses, November 18th through the 21st, is a 4-day event. So that is happening. And then lastly, I'm sure you all know that Patterson's Flowers, they retired. So I think we need to get a resolution in there, maybe for our November meeting. Cause how long have they been in business here? I mean,
Yeah,
do you guys
forever.
know? I don't know the exact year, but
There might be
Yeah.
somebody out there that I know that knows the Pattersons.
Patterson's Flowers.
Like 100 years or something like that, seems
Oh,
like.
yeah.
Don't tell the owner I said that.
I think it's been about 45 years, I think.
Okay.
It's been a
Yeah.
while.
I can remember my whole life, then he used to roll out in those old-fashioned bicycles and ride
Yes,
on
at
the
the
parades.
parade.
Yep.
I can remember that from every
He even
bit
did,
of my childhood, so I'd
he
go back
even
to the
did a
70s.
wedding in Chicago for my daughter, my granddaughter. He provided the flowers, and how they got them to Chicago, I haven't got a clue. But they were absolutely beautiful, and people up there was saying, do you wanna open a store up here?
Aw. So, that's it.
Absolutely
Very
gorgeous.
good. Any other new business with council tonight? I would like to make a motion to appoint some members to or open to, if there would be any motions to appoint, new members to the planning board.
All right.
Yeah, you can,
Oh, gosh, really?
yeah,
Just read the name.
make the motion to appoint.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make the motion to appoint members to the planning board. Heather Magel, Katie Beiser, Dan Dorman, Scott Vogel, and Miranda Fox.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Got the wrong sheet. Miller,
Yes.
Hurst,
Yes.
Metz,
Yes.
Cop,
Yes.
Dews,
Yes.
Horn.
Yes.
All right, excellent.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So now we have an official and
Planning board.
legal planning board. Hopefully we'll be able to move on with some business.
Thank you.
Moving on to any comments by citizens this evening. Yes, ma'am.
Not yet. They want to find out if the people who did.
This is a
are willing to serve on the
community
Board of
thing.
Adjustments.
that I think is extremely important. And I just wanted to take this chance tonight to encourage everyone that lives in this community. We have a police and fire department renewal levy on the ballot coming up to vote. This community is blessed with our police department and our fire department. Are they perfect? Nope. Don't know of anyone that is. But they are very, very, very good in our community. If you ever visit other communities and you hear comments, you will understand how blessed we are here in West Milton with our fire department and our police department. And I want to encourage everyone that lives in this community to get out and vote for this renewal levy. It does not raise your taxes, but it will support our fire department and our police department in this community.
Thank you, Ms.
Well
Mark.
said.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Alice.
Oh, I'm sorry. I may be prejudiced, I don't know.
No, it's awesome. Hi, guys, Mike Kraft.
Hi, Mike.
Hi. Wanted to bring it to your attention that I think there might be a possibility that out-of-towners are coming and filling up our recycling dumpster. Yeah, I noticed Sunday on my bike ride, I was out on Range Line and a truck passed me up and it's full of cardboard and I'm thinking, ooh, where are they going? So I kind of watched them in the distance and they hung a right at 571 and I'm thinking, what's going on? So I'm pedaling as hard as I can and I kind of catch up to him as he's leaving and coming back the other direction, empty. Now he was coming from the direction of Clayton, you know, up here, and so I gathered he wasn't, you know, he wasn't local. And somebody that lives on 571 suggested to me that they think that there's out-of-towners coming and filling up our dumpster too, by the truckloads. And I think it might warrant checking the videos, and I don't know if we can check license or how we can go about locking it down just for citizens in West Milton only, or what the deal is, but I kind of think some people, out-of-towners, are coming in and abusing us.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah.
And I think that we'll have Ben look into that and see what we can do in the way of checking the video and seeing if they can coordinate with the police department or what we can do with that. So,
Okay, yeah.
thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
Before we adjourn, I'd like to just say congratulations to our new police chief, Chief Doyle Wright. I look forward to working with him for many years. I think that he's going to do a great job, and I know that he's excited to go and get moving along in the new position. So, Doyle, congratulations, and at that, is there any motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.